Ladies, if you are on a fat loss journey, a hormone health journey, you want the fat loss of GLP-1s without the side effects of feeling like crap all the time, looking like a bobblehead, losing all your muscle, gaining all the weight back once you lose it. I got the top 3 supplements that you need in your home at all times that will mimic GLP-1 agonists. So let's get into, before I get into supplements, and you can probably already see them if you're watching on YouTube, but GLP-1 agonists, where are those? Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, there's a daily injection, Liraglutide. There's the every other day injection, Glutide. There's the weekly injection, Mounjaro, Semaglutide, right? So you got 3 different types, and that's just the only category difference is how often you inject because of how long they stay in your body for. Now, the effects of what it does, okay? So it has a couple different physiological, it has the angles that it hits. That's the word I was looking for, angles. 3 things specifically, okay? So number 1 is it's going to slow down your stomach motility. It's going to slow down your digestion. So food's going to stay in your stomach and your intestines a lot longer, okay? You've probably heard the side effect of stomach paralysis, constipation, stuff like that, because it is slowing it down so much. That is one way that you can send a signal to your brain, you're full, because your stomach's expanded, because there's not food moving through there, right? So that's number 1. Number 2 is it stabilizes blood sugar swings and to decrease the cravings, the hunger cravings, the hunger swings that you're going to feel. The mechanism it works through is it increases the insulin secretion and it decreases glucagon production. Okay, so simultaneously does that. That's going to level everything out and you're not going to get any hunger swings throughout the day. The last thing it does is it stimulates pathways in your brain, specifically leptin hormone, creates more leptin sensitivity. The leptin is your satiety hormone, right? It tells your brain, sending a signal to your brain that, hey, I'm satiated, I'm satisfied. If you've ever felt like you couldn't eat enough food to ever get satisfied, that's what we would call leptin resistance. Now I'm saying you're leptin resistance, but that would be like an example of that, right? Not being able to get satiated off your meals. Now, there's nothing really special about GLP-1s because your body naturally produces it, actually. Your body naturally produces GLP-1. Now, GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide 1, it's a peptide that is naturally secreted in your gut, okay? So your body's already secreting it. So how do we mimic or extend the secretion of the effects you're getting from GLP-1s, right? So how do we decrease food noise? How do we decrease the stomach motility? And how do we become satiated and relaxed, right? So number 1, let's talk about how to secrete more natural glucagon, like peptide 1. How do we do that? Well, it's stimulated, it's secreted at your gut. So if you can see this, let's see, there you go. That is a probiotic. You're probably thinking like, why probiotics? Why a gummy? Well, I'll tell you each of those right now. Probiotics are going to help the integrity of your gut lining. If you have better gut lining, you're going to have better gut lining integrity. You're going to have better hormone secretion. And guess where GLP-1's secreted? In your gut. So if you can have better probiotic, better gut health, that is a good thing. Now, what you are looking for in a probiotic is something that feeds the good bacteria and doesn't feed the bad bacteria, because there are ones that don't really discriminate. Those feed all the bacteria, which is not a good thing. And you'll have a lot of overgrowth in bad bacteria. So why did I choose this brand? Why did I choose gummies? Well, it's one of the only brands that makes gummies. It's a well-known brand. I always look at any consumer labs reports on the brand that I can. I make sure it's third-party tested and GMP tested. This Mary Roos, exactly that. And gummies. So I've been coaching for 19 years, put a lot of people, a lot of women on supplements. And if you ever coach people or have taken supplements, you know how hard it is to adhere to them, right? How the biggest thing that has stopped people from seeing results on supplements is actually the consistency of taking them. Now, these are gummies, like gummy bears. Taste good. Who doesn't like to eat gummy bears, right? So your adherence will go up. All right, so that's number one. It's a probiotic. Number two, psyllium husk. Okay, what is psyllium husk? It's insoluble fiber. It expands into a gel-like substance, and when you take it in water, you can take 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, whatever you want. It's going to expand in your stomach and your intestine, and it's going to slow down your digestion. Okay, just like the GLP-1 slows down digestion, psyllium husk does the same thing. I personally love taking psyllium husk, especially when I'm cutting, because it just allows me to feel full off of minimal amounts of food, and I'm like, oh, I'm satiated. Don't take it with too much food, because you will get very gassy, because it will expand that stomach lining, and you're just like, oh God, you feel like all this dissension in the world doesn't feel good. But psyllium husk is going to slow down your stomach motility, make you feel fuller. You can take it with meal, without a meal, whatever you want. I would just make sure there are natural ways to secrete GLP-1s, which I'll get into another conversation, but one of the ways is to make sure you're eating balanced meals, protein-rich, that are high in omega-3s, and that have complex carbohydrates in each meal, and eating like every 3 to 4 hours. That's going to naturally help you secrete more GLP-1. Okay. Third one. You can see this. This is Prestige Labs. It's called Prestige Crush. It is a cravings crusher, and I take this even when I'm not cutting, because it helps me get out of fight or flight and more into rest and digest. So you always hear people talk about, I don't even think about food. Like I'm always full, like I just don't even think about my food noise is down, because when you have food noise, it takes your body 30 days physiologically to starve until you die. About right. Some people have like stretched that longer, but that food noise you're having is psychological, because if you really think about it, you're probably not really physically hungry. It's psychological, right? There are things in here that are going to help you secrete more insulin, decrease the glucagon production, okay, which is going to help you level out your blood sugars and not have hunger swings. And it's also going to take you out of fight or flight and more into rest and digest, so you can cut that food noise down, okay? Some of my favorites in here, you got chromium picolinate, which I've covered in a million different reels. Rhodiola root, which I've been raving about since 2005. Ashwagandha, research shows 30% decrease in baseline of cortisol. And it's got, a lot of other things in here that are good, but those are the top that I'm obsessed with. So you can get this at prestigelabs.com. If you are a client, we just give you our employer discount. It's a buddy of mine's company. I've used it for like 6 or 7 years for all my clients. 7 years, 7 or 8 actually. I don't know now. But those are the top 3 supplements to secrete more GLP-1 and mimic the effects of GLP-1 agonists. So again, just to kind of recap, probiotics, psyllium husk, and Prestige Labs Cravings Crusher. Prestige Crush is what it's called. And we're looking to slow stomach motility down, increase insulin secretion, decrease glucagon production, and have a healthy gut so you can secrete more naturally. So hope this helps. Love y'all. If you watch this on YouTube, like, subscribe, turn those notifications on. If you're listening to this on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, hit the bell button, leave a review, follow. I'll help the algorithm, helps me help more women like you. All right, love y'all. Have a great rest of your day.